I saw your hands tremble this morning as you held that coffee cup, trying to disguise a weariness that isn't just physical, but from the depths of your soul. You've been secretly crying out, "Lord, heal me from within with your grace." And today, I stopped what I was doing in the universe just to tell you that I heard each of your muffled sobs into the pillow in the stillness of the night. When the world around you slept, and only your pain remained wide awake, you came here seeking a sign, a breath of fresh air that would make you believe again that tomorrow can be different from the weight of today. What I have to reveal to you on this journey goes far beyond simple comfort. It's a profound reconstruction that begins exactly where no one else can see, in those dark recesses of your heart that you try to hide even from yourself. Many have seen you smile in recent days, but few have noticed the Herculean effort you made to keep your shoulders raised, while your entire inner structure seemed to silently crumble. I have known you since before the sun rose on your first day of life, and I know that your search for healing is not for fleeting relief, but for a complete restoration that only my grace is capable of achieving. You often wonder why certain wounds seem to reopen just when you think they have finally begun to heal. There is a mystery of love that I am about to show you now, a truth that I have kept for this exact moment in your life. And if you remain with me until the last second of this message, you will understand why I allowed my silence to last so long. If this word from the throne is touching your being now, take a short pause and let your heart speak to me. Tell me your name, where in this world you are watching from, and what time the clock shows in your little corner of prayer. I want you to know that I am present in every beat of your time. Feel this warmth in your chest now, and, like a sincere outpouring from a daughter who has finally found safe harbor, write with all your soul, "My Lord God, I am here. I signed up because I truly love you and I long to hear you. Don't be in a hurry to leave my presence, for I have prepared each line of this divine script as a specific remedy for your affliction. At the end of our encounter, I will give a clear answer to what you have asked in prayer and whisper a unique phrase to your heart that will serve as a spiritual key to your new season of life. Those who keep this phrase and declare it in faith will receive prophetic blessings released upon their home and their mind. The silence that invades your home today is not a sign of abandonment. It is the scenario I myself chose to begin cleansing everything that still hurts you. Have you ever felt as if the sky were made of bronze and your prayers couldn't even reach the ceiling? I was there the whole time, collecting each of your tears. But what I saw hidden beneath the layers of your supposed strength will surprise you, for there is a healing secret I have not yet revealed to you, one that will change the way you see your own past. If you feel my presence enveloping you, leave your sign of love here. What does your soul most desire to give to me in this moment of revelation? Share this light with someone who is also weary in the darkness. Write the word "restart" in the comments, but I haven't shown you everything yet, for the weight you carry on your face holds a revelation that only my love can unveil. I observe every time you look in the mirror before leaving home and, with a deep sigh, adjust that mask of strength you have worn for so long. I see the weariness that has accumulated in the corners of your eyes, an exhaustion that not even the best night's sleep seems capable of erasing. You have become a master at saying that everything is fine, while your inner world creaks under the weight of responsibilities that were never yours to carry alone. You take care of everyone, listen to everyone's pain, hold the hands of so many, but who holds your hand when the door closes and the silence of that empty kitchen becomes too heavy to bear? In this silence, I am with you. I feel the cold that rises up your legs when you sit at the table, staring into nothingness, wondering how long you will have to pretend that your structure is made of iron. You don't need to be strong for me. I prefer your naked truth, your breathless tears and your honest weariness, to any rehearsed prayer you try to utter with a choked voice. My grace is not given to those who consider themselves unbreakable, but to those who admit that every piece of their being is crying out for help. You are afraid that if you take off this mask, people will see that you are human, that you feel pain, and that you also need comfort. But I, your Creator, tell you today, my lap is the only place where you can collapse without fear of being judged. Remember what I told you so long ago, and which today echoes as an invitation of love to your soul. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. It is written in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Understand that I did not ask you to be healed to come to me. I only ask that you come with your weariness. I want to exchange that heavy burden that makes you walk with hunched shoulders for a burden that is light, a burden of peace that does not depend on the circumstances around you. That mask that tires your face is not what I planned for my beloved daughter. I created you to live in the freedom of truth, to breathe deeply and feel that life is not just a succession of obligations and hidden pains. There is a beauty that I want to restore in your gaze, a light that has been fading as you accepted the role of an unshakable pillar for everyone but yourself. But I saw something that happened that Tuesday afternoon, when you hid in the bathroom so that no one would see your despair. And it was at that moment, amidst the smell of soap and the sound of running water, that I decided your inner healing would begin today. If you feel it's time to release this weight and allow my love to remake you, let your heart answer this call. What has been stealing the peace of your thoughts lately? If you believe I can lighten your burden, click the thumbs up to seal this moment. Sign up for this journey if you wish to walk under my protection every day. Write a word of total surrender in the comments. Rest. Stay alert, because what I will reveal to you next is something you thought was lost forever, but which I have carefully kept to return to you at the right time. My beloved daughter, as I tenderly remove this mask of weariness from your face, I perceive the deep desire that arises within you to reciprocate the care you have received on this spiritual journey. I see your constant effort to keep this place of peace accessible to other hearts that, like yours, seek to hear my voice. If it is possible for you, and only if your heart is at complete peace with this, I ask that you transform your gratitude into a seed of love for this channel. Consider the immense love that I and my son Jesus have for you, and contribute using the link I have left available in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There, in that sacred space, you will find the fertile ground where your offering of love can be deposited and duly consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount your spirit desires. If you feel the impulse to enter a different amount, do so with all the freedom of one who loves. Always remember this: I joyfully receive only what fits in your heart, without external pressures, only with the lightness of a grateful soul. What truly matters to me is not the amount itself, but the sincerity and faith with which you give, for what is little for you may be much for the one who receives this message now. When making this gesture of affection, don't forget to include your name and city with your contribution. I want you to know that on the first day of next month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 9 and 10, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." Every offering in faith is a precious seed before me, and none will fail to bear fruit. I see everything in secret, and I will reward you. Like this video if you feel my touch and share this light. What do you want to give me now? He writes, "Gratitude, stay with me, for I still want to touch your heart with my voice of love and great peace." You know exactly what it feels like to reach the limit of all your strength, when the ground beneath your feet seems to open into an abyss of uncertainty. I saw the moment you sat on the edge of the bed, at 3 in the morning, your head in your hands and your bare feet touching the cold floor of the room. The silence was so dense that you could hear the accelerated beating of your own heart, pleading for a way out that your human eyes could not see. At that moment, the weight of tomorrow seemed like an impossible mountain to climb, and your only prayer was a trembling whisper, asking that, if I were there, I would do something. I want you to understand that my grace is not an abstract concept that lives only in sacred books. It is my outstretched hand exactly where your ground ended. When you say you have no more strength, that is when my strength finds the perfect space to manifest itself. You spent years trying to build your life on the sands of self-sufficiency, believing you needed to solve every problem and carry every pain alone. But today, I invite you to look at your empty hands and realize that they are the most beautiful invitation for me to fill them with my power. Many times, you confused the end of your resources with the end of your story. You looked at the bills that didn't balance, the relationship that cooled, or the health that faltered and thought that was the end. But for me, your end is only my beginning. I work in the impossible. I walk on the waters of your inner storms, and I transform your desert into a garden of miracles. Your vulnerability doesn't push me away. It attracts me. The trembling in your hands and the moisture on your cheeks are signs that you are finally ready to let me be the Lord of your journey. For it is written in my word, in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. Understand this well, my daughter. My grace is sufficient. It is not little. It is not merely a consolation. It is the supernatural fuel that will make you walk paths you never imagined. Feel now the relief of knowing that you no longer need to carry the world on your shoulders. I am your sustenance. I am your rest. I am the one who renews your breath when air seems to fail. What I am doing within you now is a silent work, like the seed that breaks through the earth in the darkness to become a leafy tree. You do not yet see the fruits, but I already smell the fragrance of your victory. If you feel that my strength is beginning to fill the voids in your soul, leave your sign of faith here with us. Have you ever experienced an inexplicable peace in the midst of a storm, like this video if you want? My peace to continue flooding your home. Share this message with a soul who also feels like their ground has crumbled beneath them. Write in the comments our word of absolute trust, support. Don't rush, because what I have prepared to give you in the next part of our conversation will open your eyes to a companionship you thought you had lost along the way. While my hand still rests on your head, calming the turmoil of your thoughts and gathering what remains of your uncertainties, I want to invite you to let this healing we are beginning now not be just a passing moment, but a spring that flows every day within your being. If your heart desires to go deeper with me in this restoration and immerse itself in even clearer waters, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey, something I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved sons and daughters, the digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was meticulously prepared to be the balm that touches your wounds at dawn, serving as a daily remedy for your soul and to accompany you in silence and intimacy when the world around you seems too noisy. Access to this daily encounter is also in the link in the description of this video and in the comment I left pinned for you. And listen carefully to what your Father tells you now. If today is not possible for you for any reason, do not condemn yourself in any way, and do not allow guilt to visit your mind. Remain with me here, because I will also sustain you and guide you through this message that now flows into your heart, so that your soul may find rest and you may have no confusion or technical doubts. Immediately after you register for this journey of love, access and all instructions will arrive directly in the email you provide. Everything is explained very simply, with precise, step-by-step instructions, so you can begin our daily walk without any stumbling blocks. I want this devotional to be your companion in the early morning prayers, bringing clarity where there was doubt and unshakable peace where fear of tomorrow once reigned. For it is written, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." It is in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3. Just as I count the number of stars and call them all by their names, I know every detail of your inner restoration and know exactly where to place my touch, so that the pain ceases once and for all. This book is a tool so that you never forget that my voice is available to you with each new sunrise, like a sure guide in the midst of darkness. Take a deep breath now and feel the air filling your lungs with new hope. I'm here, and I don't intend to go anywhere. Have you ever felt the need for clear direction upon waking but only found the emptiness of silence? If this invitation of care touched your soul, leave your sign of gratitude by enjoying this special moment we have prepared. Subscribe so you don't miss the thread of this divine conversation we are having. Share this gift with that person you know is also seeking a compass for their weary heart. Write our word of constancy in the comments. Direction. But remain vigilant, my daughter, for there is still something I see hidden in a deep place, a corner of your soul that you thought no one had the key to, and it is precisely there that I am walking now. I know you keep a hidden key, one that you don't show to anyone, not even those who share the table with you every day. It opens a heavy door in the cellars of your soul, where the air is thin and the smell is of things kept for a long time, covered by the dust of oblivion that you tried, in vain, to blow away. I am entering those corridors with you now. Do not be afraid of the light I carry, for it does not come to shame you or expose you, but to cleanse what still makes you limp in secret, far from the eyes of the world. I see that specific wound, the one that was opened by words that cut like a razor, coming from someone you loved and in whom you placed all your trust. Do you remember that Thursday afternoon, 10 or 15 years ago? The sun streamed through the living room window, drawing squares of light on the faded carpet, while your world crumbled into an absolute cutting silence. You didn't scream. You only felt your chest tighten and an iron knot form in your throat, a weight that never fully left. Since that day, you've learned to smile only with your lips, while your eyes remain vigilant, fearing that the pain might escape through any crack in your armor. Many praise you for your resilience and the way you withstand storms, but I see the exorbitant price you paid for this appearance of peace. I see the nights when the weight of this secret prevented you from breathing deeply, as if an invisible hand was squeezing your sternum, reminding you of an emotional debt you didn't create, but were forced to pay. You carried grudges against people who don't even remember what they did to you, while you continue to nurture this shadow in the dark corners of your being. But today I have come with my purest balm. I have come to wash each of these wounds with the water of life, removing the inflammation of resentment that has stolen the brightness and color from your existence. For it is written in my word, in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit." You were never alone in that dark room, my daughter. I was sitting beside you on the rug, feeling every inch of that betrayal and that loss with you. And now I tenderly ask you, give me those keys. Give me those memories that hurt you and paralyze you. Let me take away this weight that no longer belongs to you. I want your laughter to be full and true again, to come from the depths of your being, without the heavy shackles of your past. Feel my hand touching that exact point where the pain still throbs in your chest. It is not meant to hurt anymore. It is meant to heal definitively. I am reorganizing your feelings, throwing away what has rotted and perfuming your story with the fragrance of forgiveness that liberates the soul. Have you ever felt that an old memory still suddenly takes your breath away, as if it happened this morning? If you accept that I do this deep cleansing now, leave your sign of surrender. Click the thumbs up if you feel that my light is finally illuminating those basements of yours. Share this video with that person you know who is also imprisoned by an old resentment. Write our word of spiritual liberation in the comments, clean soul. But stay with me and don't get distracted, because while I cleanse those basements of yours, I have noticed something in the main structure of your inner house that needs reinforcement, that only heaven can give you now. I see how you've been trying, with your own tired hands and nails sometimes soiled by the mud of daily battles, to mend the cracks that time and disappointments have opened in your inner structure. You built high walls, didn't you? Protective walls that, over the years, ended up becoming the walls of a cell where you locked yourself in so that no one else could reach you. But what I want to propose to you today is not just a patch or a new coat of paint to hide the marks of infiltration from your sadness. I came to be your master builder, the one who knows every brick of your soul and knows exactly where the foundation has given way. Remember that Sunday afternoon, while you looked at a damp stain on your living room wall and felt that your life was exactly like that? Faded, peeling, losing color under the weight of a winter that seemed endless. You ran your hand along the cold wall and felt a chill run down your spine, realizing that the cold wasn't coming from outside but from within. At that moment, the silence of the house was broken only by the sound of a distant dripping faucet, and you wondered if you would ever feel safe and whole again. I was there, listening to the sound of your broken heart, and I was already preparing the celestial materials for your reconstruction. I don't use cement and sand to rebuild your walls. I use golden threads of forgiveness and precious stones of unconditional love. I am reinforcing your pillars with my faithfulness, so that when the winds of anxiety blow again, you will no longer need to fear that your house will collapse. I am closing the cracks through which the icy wind of loneliness entered, and replacing the windows fogged by pain with clean glass through which you can see the future with hope. You no longer need these rigid and bitter defenses, because now my presence is your wall of fire around you. For it is written in my word, in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 12. Your children will rebuild the ancient ruins, and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called the repairer of broken walls, the restorer of streets with dwellings. Understand, my daughter, that I am not merely repairing you, I am transforming you into a safe dwelling place. Where before there were ruins of failed dreams, I am building a new palace of peace. Every tear you have shed has served to soften the hard ground of your pride, allowing me to dig deeper and lay foundations that nothing in this world can shake. Feel now the tenderness of my touch as I set each new stone in place. There is no hurry, no sound of heavy hammers, only the whisper of my grace remaking what life has destroyed. Have you ever felt that your life needed a complete overhaul, but didn't know where to begin? If you accept that I am the architect of your new time, leave your sign of agreement now. Like this message, if you feel that the foundations of your soul are being strengthened at this moment. Subscribe to continue receiving the plans I have for your dwelling. Share this message with someone who is also trying to rebuild their life amidst the rubble. Write our word of structural renewal in the comments. Reconstruction. But don't close the door yet, because there is something the world has tried to offer you to alleviate this burden, but which only served to increase your weariness, and I have the true remedy to give you right now. The world out there races against a clock that seems never to stop, demanding a haste from you that suffocates your soul and steals the sparkle from your eyes. I see how pressured you feel to always be well, productive, smiling, and resolving all pending issues in 24 hours that seem to have only 12. The world offers you fleeting reliefs, distractions that last a second, pleasures that dissolve like smoke in the wind, but none of that touches the core of your silent pain. You seek relief in social media, in empty conversations, or in endless tasks, so you don't have to hear the cry of your own heart. But when the phone light goes out and you're left alone in the dim light of your room, the anguish returns to knock on the door with the same force as before. Do you remember that Monday morning when the alarm clock rang at 6:30, and you felt such a heavy weight on your chest that the mere thought of getting out of bed seemed like a task for a giant? You looked at the ceiling, breathless and your heart pounding erratically, feeling the clock hands hammering against your temple, and you thought, I won't be able to handle another day of demands. The world demands results from you, but I offer you the time of my grace. While society imposes a finish line that is always shifting, I invite you to walk at my pace, where each step is sustained by my love, and each second is sacred and planned by me. Don't be afraid to seem slow in the eyes of men. What I am generating within you cannot be rushed by human schedules. The inner healing we are carrying out requires that you respect the seasons of your own heart. A flower doesn't bloom before its time, and a seed doesn't break through the earth unless there is patience in waiting and trust in the darkness of the soil. The relief I give you is profound. It's that long sigh you take when you finally realize you no longer need to prove anything to anyone, not even to yourself. I am the Lord of Time, and I am ensuring that you flourish at the exact moment your structure is ready to sustain the beauty I have planted within you. For it is written in my word, in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. If the world tells you to run, I tell you. Rest in my perfect timetable. I am not late, and I do not rush out of anxiety. I act in the fullness of perfection. You have spent 30, 40, or 50 years trying to control every minute of your existence, but today I invite you to surrender your clock into my hands. Let my grace be your guide, leading you by the light of my presence and not by the despair of human haste. Feel now this pressure leaving your shoulders, as if an invisible hand were untying the knots that the rush of daily life has tightened around your neck. I give you permission not to be in a hurry. I give you permission to simply be my beloved daughter. Tell me something from the depths of your soul. Have you ever felt that life was passing by too quickly and you were being left behind? If you accept my time over your present moment, Leave your sign of peace. Enjoy this encounter if you wish my rhythm to govern your home and your thoughts today. Share this message with that soul that lives suffocated by the anxiety of the passing hours. Write here in the comments our word of divine patience, divine time, but do not distance yourself now, for while the world's time seems to stand still before my grace, there is a new horizon that I am clearing, so that you may see what I have prepared for your near future. While the world's time seems to stand still before my grace, I draw even closer to your face, with the gentleness of a father who does not want to frighten his daughter, who has just awakened from a long nightmare. I see how your gaze has become dull, as if a fog of persistent sadness has settled between your eyes and the reality of my promises. You look to the future and can only see repetitions of your past. You look to the horizon and only see heavy clouds, even when the sun is already shining outside. This happens because prolonged pain creates scales, an invisible film of fear that prevents you from seeing what I'm already doing now right before you. Do you remember that Saturday morning, about 3 weeks ago, when you opened your living room window and the daylight seemed to assault your tired eyes? You quickly closed the curtains, preferring the familiar gloom of your despondency to the light that invited you to start again. At that moment, the musty smell of your old thoughts seemed safer than the freshness of the new day. You sat on the sofa, your eyes fixed on some point on the carpet, and felt your vision blurring, not from lack of light, but from the excess of tears you no longer had the strength to shed. I was there, watching your struggle to focus on something that would give you hope, and I decided that I myself would remove those scales from your soul. Now I touch your eyelids with the tips of my fingers, breathing upon your gaze the breath of my truth. I am removing the scales of disappointment, of that betrayal that made you believe that no one else is trustworthy. I am cleansing the bitter residue of loss, which makes you think that everything good will one day go away. I want you to see the colors of life again, the green of hope that sprouts in the cracks of the asphalt of your routine, and the blue of peace that I extend over your head with each new dawn. You will see that the horizon is not a wall but an invitation. It is not the end of the line but the beginning of a road that I myself paved for your feet, for it is written in my word, in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things are passed away." Understand this well, my daughter. The first things, the pain, the blurred vision, the fear of tomorrow, are passing now. I am giving you a prophetic vision, the ability to see the fruit even before the tree grows, to see the open door where everyone says there is only a wall. You will begin to perceive signs of my care in details that previously went unnoticed. A word from a stranger, a bird singing at your window, a sudden peace in the midst of an old problem. Feel the lightness that invades your gaze now, as if the world were gaining clarity for the first time in years. Your vision will no longer be governed by what your physical eyes see, but by what your heart knows I am capable of doing. Tell me, when was the last time you looked at your future and felt a thrill of joy, not fear? If you accept that I cleanse your vision and show you the new horizon I have prepared, leave your sign of faith here with me. Like this message, if you feel the fog is dissipating from your mind right now, he shares this light with someone who walks with their head down, unable to see the way out. Write our word of spiritual clarity in the comments, new vision. Don't look away now, because as the horizon opens up, I want to show you how I will fill every empty space that loneliness has left in your heart, transforming your scarcity into something that overflows. I see the shelves of your soul and realize that for a long time you felt them like those forgotten clay pots at the back of your kitchen cupboard, dry, empty, and accumulating the dust of a loneliness that no one seems to notice. You look at the gaps in your life, at the spaces left by those who have departed, at the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, and at the dreams that withered before blooming, and you feel a hollow echo inside your chest. Do you remember that Wednesday afternoon when the silence of your house was broken only by the constant hum of the refrigerator, and you sat at the table, staring at an empty chair, feeling that your own existence had become a diet of emotional crumbs and leftovers? You wondered, while holding that glass of water with hands slightly parched by the winter cold, if you would ever taste fullness again. The scarcity that haunts you is not of bread, but of presence, not of material wine, but of the joy that makes the heart leap for no apparent reason. But I, your God, am entering your spiritual pantry now. I have not come merely to give you enough to survive another day in the desert. I have come to pour the new wine of my presence upon each of your empty vessels, until they are not only full, but begin to overflow onto the floor of your reality. What the world has taken from you in years of drought, I am restoring in a single instant of intimacy. That feeling that you are always the last to be remembered, that you are just a detail in the lives of others, is now being dissolved by the revelation that you are the guest of honor at my table. I am transforming the bitter water of your disappointments into the sweetest wine of my communion. Where there was the void of rejection, I place the weight of my glory. You will no longer need to beg for attention or seek to fill your emptiness with fleeting noises, because my voice will be the banquet that sustains your soul in the hours of greatest silence. For it is written in my word, in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Understand this with your spirit. Your cup is not merely receiving, it is overflowing. This means that the healing I work in you today will be so great that there will be enough left over to bless those who enter your house, those who hear your voice and those who see the renewed radiance on your face. Your scarcity was the scenario I chose to manifest, my abundance of grace. Feel now this warmth that begins to flood your chest, as if a generous wine were descending through your throat, warming what fear had cooled. You are no longer an abandoned vessel. You are a reservoir of my joy. Let me ask you something that touches the depths of your truth. What do you feel is still missing for your banquet of life to be complete today? If you feel that my new wine is filling your voids now, leave your sign of gratitude. Enjoy this moment if you receive this abundance in your home. Share this provision with someone who feels forgotten and empty. Write our word of fullness in the comments. Overflow. Don't leave my side now, because while your vessels are filling, I want to spread a mantle of serenity over your mind that will guard each of your thoughts from the attack of anxiety. While the new wine of my presence finishes filling the voids of your soul, I feel that there is still a battlefield where the fight has been fierce and silent. Your mind. I see how your thoughts become a swarm of worries as soon as you lay your head on the pillow. It is at that moment, around 2 or 3 in the morning, that anxiety whispers, lies in your ear, projecting scenarios of defeat and causing your chest to tighten, as if the air were escaping from your lungs. Have you ever felt that terrible sensation that the sky is made of bronze and that, no matter how much you cry out, your words hit the ceiling and bounce back to suffocate you? I am here to break that ceiling of isolation. I see when your hands clench tightly under the sheet, trying to contain the trembling of a fear you cannot name. You spend the day solving problems, but when night falls, your mind becomes a court where you are, at the same time, the defendant and the judge, condemning yourself for past mistakes and fearing a future that has not yet been born. But I, your God, now extend my mantle of serenity over your bed. I place my hand on your forehead, feverish with thoughts, and command the raging sea within you to calm down. I do not give you a peace like that of the world, which depends on the bills being paid or people praising you. I give you my peace, the peace that is born in the midst of chaos, and that makes no sense to human logic. For it is written in my word, in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 7, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Understand well, my daughter, that this peace is a divine sentinel. It stands at the door of your heart and mind, preventing the darts of anguish from entering and taking up residence. I am guarding your feelings so that you will no longer be a slave to your fluctuating emotions. If the world cries out in despair, my spirit whispers calm. If anxiety shows you the abyss, my peace shows you the bridge. You no longer need to watch the night alone. I am he who neither sleeps nor slumbers, and I am taking care of every detail that keeps you awake. Let my grace filter your every thought. When the what-if comes to torment you, respond with, I am. I am your refuge. I am your provision. I am your healing from the inside out. Feel your breath slowing down now. Feel the weight lifting from your eyes and the stiffness leaving your neck. I am untying the knots of worry that you have tied all day. Now let your heart rest in this profound certainty. Tell me here, with all your sincerity, what is the thought that has been trying to steal your sleep the most lately? If you feel that my mantle of peace is covering you now, leave your sign of surrender. Enjoy this moment of prayer if you accept that I govern your mind tonight. He shares this calm with someone who lives on medication to be able to sleep. Write here in the comments our word of unwavering serenity. Real peace. Remain silent with me just a little longer, for we have reached the most sacred moment of our conversation, where I will finally give you the key that will seal your healing and reveal to you the phrase I promised at the beginning. Look inside yourself now, my daughter. Notice how the atmosphere of this place where you are, which before seemed heavy with shadows and an unbearable weight that stole your breath, now shines with a light that doesn't come from lamps or the sun outside, but from my glory that has decided to make its permanent home in your heart. What we did here today was not just a passing conversation to calm your nerves. It was a profound spiritual surgery, performed in an open field where I removed yesterday's splinters and stitched your wounds with the unbreakable threads of my grace. You entered here feeling like a cracked vase about to shatter at the slightest touch of a new disappointment, but I show you now that each of your scars is, in fact, a golden channel through which my light will pass to illuminate others who still walk in the darkness of despair. Remember that in the very first minute of our meeting, I promised you that I would give you a key, a whispered secret that would seal your inner restoration. The time has come for you to keep it in the most sacred and secure place of your being. This is not just a comforting phrase for rainy days. It is the decree of victory that I signed with the precious blood of my Son, especially for you. When the world outside shouts that you are weak, when the pain of the past tries to knock on your door again, and when scarcity tries to whisper lies in your ear, you will no longer lower your head. You will lift your gaze to the mountains and declare with all the authority of heaven that now flows in your veins, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Write now in the comments, with the fervor of one who finally feels free from the shackles of weariness, this phrase as an act of faith, of surrender, and of possession of your complete healing. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. As you type each letter, visualize the chains of anxiety falling to the ground and divine authority being restored in every step of your walk. I have not yet finished speaking to your heart. There are mysteries of love that my voice still wishes to deposit in your spirit, layers of healing that you do not yet know, but which are ready to be revealed. Continue walking with me, immersing yourself in the other messages I have prepared for you in this playlist of healing and power, for our journey of intimacy is only beginning. You will never again be alone in the silence of the early morning or in the weight of the afternoon, for my grace has become, from today onwards, your new address and your eternal refuge. I wash you with the purity of my love. I lift you up with the strength of my right hand. I heal you with the essence of my own life.